someone like Zlata get into these positions without any evidence of injury to her body is amazing.
Some people will do anything for their 15 minutes of fame. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 stupidest Guinness World Records. For this list, we're focusing on the weirdest, lamest, and randomest Guinness World Records out there. The Guinness Book of World Records has been published annually since 1955, and each year it lists new achievements made by humans or by nature. Number 10. Most toilet seats broken by the head in 1 minute. Yep, you heard that right. An American martial arts enthusiast named Kevin Shelley can take pride in the fact that he's broken more toilet seats with his head than anyone in the world ever.
Go!
As is the case with many of the entries on this list, we gotta wonder what the point of honing such a skill is. But this feat is nonetheless impressive, as he broke 46 seats in just 1 minute to set the record in 2007. That's almost 1 seat per second.
He's too fast!
Amazingly, Shelley attempted to break his own record the following year. He almost made it too, but had only broken 44 toilet seats by the time the buzzer sounded.
Next time, learn how to work the safety with your punk ass. I'll be back.
Number 9. Most snails on the face for 10 seconds. In 2009, for his 11th birthday, Finn Kelleher attempted to give himself a special gift, a Guinness World Record. With help from his friends and family, this young boy from Utah threw the most disgusting party ever, placing 43 snails on his face and keeping them there for 10 seconds. Fortunately, it was enough to beat the previous record of 37 snails, so his parents sent their videos and witness accounts off to the Guinness judges. What inspired Finn to break this slimy record, you may ask? He'd received the Guinness Book of World Records for his 10th birthday and wanted to see his own name in there. Number 8. Loudest burp. Sound records are very popular with Guinness. For example, they've got records for loudest scream and loudest purr from a domestic cat. But for our money, Paul Hunn of the United Kingdom can claim the most useless sound-related accomplishment. He can produce burps measuring 109.9 decibels, a record he set in 2009. And he's not the only one. There's also a women's category. Italian Elisa Cagnoni holds that record at 107 decibels. To give you a bit of context, those burps are about as loud as a rock concert, and slightly less loud than a jackhammer. In other words, their burps will deafen you. Number 7. Typing all numbers from 1 to 1 million in words, not numbers.
Get a lot written today?
Yes.
Les Stewart had to wait a very long time before he got himself into the Book of Records. 16 years, actually. So what took him so long? He decided to type out all the numbers between 1 and 1 million on a typewriter in words, not digits. It took him 16 years and 7 months, from 1982 to 1998, to go from 123 to 999,998, 999,999, 1 million. In total, he used 7 typewriters, 1,000 ink ribbons, and 19,890 pieces of paper to accomplish his goal.
How do you like it?
Number 6. Most watermelons chopped on the stomach in 1 minute. If you thought breaking toilets with your face was weird, wait till you see these watermelon ninjas. One of the more specific Guinness World Records, this one has a couple of rules. The watermelons must be placed on someone else's stomach, and the one doing the chopping must use a machete.
Go!
As dangerous as that sounds, this category is actually quite popular, as several people have attempted it throughout the years. However, the record is held by Americans Bipin Larkin and Ashrita Furman, who cut 48 watermelons in 2012. They even upped the ante in 2016 by performing the same challenge, but on a bed of nails. They only got to 24 watermelons that time.
Ah, Sid! Now we gotta find more food.
Number 5. Longest distance pulled by a horse, full body burn. If you're tempted to try and break this unusually strange record, we gotta warn you, the horse isn't on fire, you are. To qualify, you must lie on your stomach and hold onto a rope tied to a horse. You're then set aflame, and the horse trots along as far as possible while dragging you behind him. If you think you'll be lucky and the flames will extinguish themselves, think again. You're followed by someone who'll keep dousing you with lamp oil. The man to beat for this record is Austrian Josef Tödtling, who managed to travel over 1,640 feet in that state in 2015. He immediately followed that by setting another record when he was hauled by an ATV for 1,909 feet, while on fire.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire.
Number 4. Farthest milk squirting distance.
Dad!
You may be asking, how does a human squirt milk? And that's a fair question. Turns out we have the bizarre ability to squirt milk from our eyes. Frankly, this record is so strange you'd be better off just seeing it for yourself. And now you probably have even more questions.
Goodness me, why so many questions?
Like, how does Ilker Yilmaz squirt milk from his eye? Was there a previous milk squirting record? And why milk? To be honest, we're really in the dark about this one, which probably explains why this record hasn't been beaten since 2004, when Mr. Yilmaz squirted milk up to a distance of almost 9 feet 2 inches. Number 3. Most rotations hanging from a power drill in 1 minute. This is a record that really turns some heads. Womp womp. Okay, but seriously folks, you gotta wonder where the Hui Jian got the idea to try this in the first place. Like, was he putting up a light fixture when his ladder fell and he started to spin uncontrollably? Is he just nutty? Who knows? However he came up with the idea, 148 rotations in 1 minute is surely an amazing accomplishment. That's 2 spins per second. So we recognize the physical exertion, but we're still trying to figure out the purpose.
Oh, that doesn't make sense to me.
Number 2. Strangest diet.
Apparently he started this because he accidentally broke a glass in his mouth when he was a kid, 9 years of age, and it just took off from there.
Frenchman Michel Lotito is a Guinness World Records legend known as Monsieur Mange Tout, which is French for Mr. Eat All. Lotito had an exceptional digestive system, which allowed him to eat objects that are typically deemed indigestible, specifically metal and glass.
Wait a minute, what do you think you're doing?
Starting when he was a child, Monsieur Mange Tout started consuming bicycles, televisions, grocery carts, and more, which he'd cut into small pieces and eat, sometimes over long periods of time. However, his most remarkable achievement was consuming an airplane. Over 2 years, Monsieur Mange Tout devoured an entire Cessna. The best part? He said that bananas and hard-boiled eggs turned his stomach.
When I eat a banana and I have metal in my stomach, it causes heartburn.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
People were looking at us on the tube, they were like, but we were like, yeah, we're Smurfs.
Oh boy. Ooh, best of components. Center of attention as always, there's Mia.
Number 1. Most Guinness World Records titles.
Ashrita world beater, Ashrita world beater.
Ashrita Furman looks like an unassuming dude. You could pass him on the street and you wouldn't even know that you were in the presence of greatness. But he has to place first on a list like this, as he holds the most Guinness records of anyone in the world. In fact, Mr. Versatility has set over 550 records throughout his Guinness career. And as you've probably guessed, a lot of them are completely stupid. Doing 27,000 jumping jacks, running a marathon while balancing a baseball bat on your head, jumping rope on a pogo stick, all stupid yet hilarious. But our personal fave? Catching 76 eggs without breaking one. Do you agree with our list? What world record do you think is the stupidest? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Spending some time alone with the weapons and characters of the Dead Rising universe may not be the best thing for your safety or mental stability.
Why don't you try taking some of my suggestions?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest things in Dead Rising.
Anti-zombie perfume. It could keep us safe in that cave.
For this list, we're looking at items and people from Dead Rising and its sequels that most exemplify the series' fixation on wacky, weird, and occasionally unsettling creations. Be they survivors with a distaste for humanity or adorable killing machines, they definitely prove that Dead Rising will never cease to amaze and horrify in equal measure. Number 10. Ted Smith and Snowflake, Dead Rising 2.
People not been very good to me. Not like Snowflake.
A boy and his pet tiger. Yeah, that's pretty weird. In Dead Rising 2, motocross champion turned zombie slayer Chuck Green ends up in the clutches of one Ted Smith, a tiger trainer with a chip on his shoulders. As revealed through dialogue, Ted is severely antisocial and potentially intellectually disabled, befriending the tiger Snowflake and forsaking human connections due to past mockery.
They all said that! Ted not slow!
Ted's short temper and willingness to feed other survivors to Snowflake are definitely troubling, as is his dying plea for Snowflake to eat him. Once Ted is slain though, we then get to witness Chuck tame and offer Snowflake to his daughter Katie as a pet. Does that make him a great father or a terrible one? Maybe both. Number 9. Dragon Punch, Dead Rising 3. Over the course of Dead Rising 3, players can find a great deal of interesting and unusual weapons to construct using other weapons and components. One such unorthodox weapon is the Dragon Punch, built by combining, of all things, a motorcycle engine and boxing gloves. When equipped, the Dragon Punch allows players to smack zombies around with over-the-top punching attacks. One of the attacks even allows players to perform the Shoryuken, the famed move from the Street Fighter games. For bonus points, Dragon Punch is actually an alternative name for the Shoryuken. Well played, Capcom. Well played. Number 8. Massive Bomb, Dead Rising 3. On the topic of impressive firepower, here we have an end-to-all zombie conflict, created through the combination of an enormous bomb and a laptop. The massive bomb's size requires it to be carried outside of one's inventory at all times. However, once the device is activated and thrown, the main draw becomes clear. It can eradicate hundreds of zombies at once. The device lures in all nearby zombies before vaporizing them in one fell swoop, with the amusing side effect of also stripping the player of their clothes. It is at once awesome and hilarious. Number 7. Sean Keenan, Dead Rising.
Those who reject salvation embrace ignorance.
When cults are involved, can you really expect anything other than crazy shenanigans? Sean Keenan leads the True Eye cult, who believes that by executing other survivors, they themselves will be spared from death or from becoming zombies.
The only path to the salvation of the soul.
For his part, Keenan sends forth his disciples to kill photojournalist Frank West on sight, prepares captives for execution, and battles attackers with a ceremonial sword. At once unhinged and devoted to his beliefs, it's fitting that Keenan meets his end at the hands of a mannequin his cult had worshipped. Number 6. Freedom Bear, Dead Rising 2. Liberty's most adorable warrior hard at work. The prospect of Chuck Green finding oversized robot bears in Dead Rising 2 is amusing in and of itself, even before the idea to modify said stuffed animals comes to mind. So we're hard-pressed not to laugh hysterically or gape in awe at the sight of Freedom Bear, one such bear armed with an LMG and ready to kill. Freedom Bear can be set on the ground and left to act as a sentry, gunning down any zombies that cross its field of view. That this magnificent creation was brought back for Dead Rising 3 is hardly a surprise. Number 5. Real Mega Buster, Dead Rising. It's not a Capcom joint without at least one inter-franchise nod. Although we already had the Dragon Punch, enter the real Mega Buster, a fully functioning replica of Mega Man's iconic weapon that shoots actual energy blasts. Further, its shots can kill any foe in less than 5 hits and can be used 300 times. Setting aside the absurdity of a Mega Man weapon appearing in a setting somewhat closer to reality, the challenge tied to obtaining the Mega Buster is truly something else. To get the real Mega Buster, players must kill 53,594 zombies in a single playthrough. Number 4, Cliff Hudson, Dead Rising.
You can't tell me, can you, fella? Oh yeah, I know why.
Mental instability and combat experience? What a winning combination. When Frank West happens upon a hardware store decorated with headless zombie corpses, he is soon greeted and attacked by Cliff Hudson. A veteran of the Vietnam War, Hudson relies on sneak attacks, smoke-producing flares, and ferocious machete strikes to get the drop on Frank. Once bested, however, the reason for Cliff's brutality is made clear. He witnessed his granddaughter getting devoured by zombies and was overwhelmed by flashbacks to his time in Vietnam. Cliff very much serves as a reminder that, for all their bizarre and comical traits, the psychopaths of Dead Rising are deeply troubled human beings at their core. Number 3, Psychopath Chuck Green, Dead Rising 2, Off the Record.
Hey! You get the hell away from my bike!
Tragedy often leads to insanity, apparently. Off the Record offers an interesting spin on Chuck Green, portraying him as a bitter loner divorced from reality after losing Katie to the zombie horde. When Frank West encounters him in the alternate version of Dead Rising 2, a misunderstanding leads Chuck to hop on his slice cycle and attack Frank mercilessly. Setting aside his attachment to said chainsaw-protected motorcycle, what illustrates Chuck's loss of sanity best is his protectiveness of the doll taped to his back, implied to be a stand-in for Katie. It's quite sad, but not unexpected when zombies are on the loose.
You're okay. You're safe now.
Number 2, Chef Antoine, Dead Rising 2.
Come in, finally.
How about we not have what he's having? Discovered by Chuck Green in the Royal Flush Plaza, Chef Antoine Thomas is unrelenting about his desire to prepare the ultimate dish for a magazine reporter that will never really come. It becomes increasingly clear that Antoine has crossed the line with his cuisine. Specifically, he's opted to start cooking human flesh and is holding survivors captive to use for his meals.
I've been waiting for you! Who the hell would want to eat this?
Combat-wise, Antoine is just as unhinged, given his attempts to force apples down Chuck's throat, hit him with a frying pan, and toss anything not bolted down at Chuck. Before we unveil our top pick, here's a few honorable mentions.
That door does not open again until you start being a little bit more obedient.
Number 1, Adam the Clown, Dead Rising. Here they somehow made clowns seem even less appealing and sane. Encountered by Frank near the Space Rider roller coaster, Adam McIntyre makes a terrifying first impression. He's a clown performer in full makeup, he wields twin chainsaws, and his high-pitched voice is deliberately at odds with his anguish over the demise of his audience.
When the zombies came, everyone died!
Adam also breathes fire when provoked and can spin his chainsaws in circles as an attack, making the fight with him all the more nightmare-inducing. And that's before we even get to his gruesome demise, wherein he falls on his own chainsaws. Hey, have fun sleeping tonight. So, do you agree with our list? What do you feel are the craziest things from Dead Rising?
Start with you before I get to her!
For more ludicrous top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.
You gave me blue balls, you tease.
For a peculiar culinary experience, these wacky eateries surely have you covered. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest restaurants in the world.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, it's been done. I'm not nervous anymore.
For this list, we're focusing on the most bizarre and unique restaurants we could find across the globe. And while the prices may vary, all of the following are certifiably insane.
This is very prison-like. Oh my god. Please, fried rice. Oh my god, titties.
Number 10. Ita Undersea Restaurant, Rangali Island, Republic of Maldives.
Our story begins in Bikini Bottom's popular undersea eatery.
Even with dinner priced at $320 and lunch set at a cool $195, the experience of this Maldives locale still may be worth it, as this is the world's first underwater restaurant. Ita opened its doors in 2005, featuring a spiral staircase that leads patrons 16 feet below sea level for a unique view of the Indian Ocean and its inhabitants. Given the view and luxury of it all, Ita doesn't rely on gimmicks, but rather literally immerses guests in the aquatic vibe, complete with a 6-course menu. And with a seating capacity of only 14, you might want to book ahead of time. Number 9. Opaque, various cities.
This is really good.
In the cities of Los Angeles, Dallas, and New York, as well as several others that host restaurants with similar concepts, both restaurant connoisseurs and curious foodies are left totally in the dark. And that's because dinner at Opaque requires a certain amount of trust. Emphasizing taste over visuals, this dining experience is not for the easily rattled, and certainly not for social media addicts eager to post pics of their food.
That's good though.
And, well, it's probably best to have at least a party of 2 given the inherent creepiness of consuming unknown foods in the dark.
Next I have a crudité platter for the 3 of you to share, which means it has 3 veggies and 3 dips, and you guys get to use your other senses.
It will cost $100 to dine at Opaque. However, one might find a sense of calm with the right combination of culinary aromas and delicious menu selections.
This is so kind.
This has been fantastic.
I love this, yeah.
Number 8. Count Dracula Club, Bucharest, Romania. Wisely capitalizing on the mystique of Bram Stoker's famous antagonist,
I am Dracula.
This Romanian restaurant allows patrons to dine with the man himself. Be advised that staffers just may ask for your blood type, and one can expect plenty of meat to be served up as well. Of course, given the claustrophobic nature of the club, guests best chow down and find pleasure in the gothic setting. And though a roaming Dracula may feel a bit annoying or even lame to some, the performances at Count Dracula Club are designed to enhance the experience within each dining room. Medieval, hunting, Transylvanian, and even the cellar. This joint is both creepy and on brand.
In Transylvania, you can see very strange things.
Oh, yes.
Number 7. Kayabukiya Tavern, Utsunomiya, Japan. At this sake restaurant, the prices are known to be quite cheap. This is likely due to the unpredictable macaque monkey staff that doesn't adhere to expected norms. Fully aware of animal regulations, Kayabukiya Tavern limits its working monkeys to just a couple of hours per day. But when they show up, they do not mess around. Owned by a visionary gentleman named Kaoru Otsuka, the tavern's little waiters are self-taught, learning on the job and making friends in the process.
The monkeys are actually better waiters than some really bad human ones.
Unfortunately, the tsunami of March 2011 ended the monkeys' reign at Kayabukiya Tavern and the restaurant itself, but the concept lives on. Number 6. Dinner in the Sky, various cities. Perfect for thrill seekers and not so much for stressful first dates. These conceptual restaurants are run 165 feet in the air. And whether you're in London, Paris, or Montreal, the heightened escapade allows for a peculiar blend of culture and adventure. Sure, it is not for everybody, and the promotional videos show individuals that are fully aware of the non-existent restroom situation. But hey, it's dinner in the sky, you'll just have to smile and hold it. Typically, the crane lift will cost you a couple $100 per person, but a Montreal company allows for a brief excursion if you're looking for a quickie at around $40 for 15 minutes.
Anybody who likes extraordinary experiences, once-in-a-lifetime experiences, bucket list type of stuff.
Number 5. Alcatraz ER, Tokyo, Japan.
That is ringing in my ears!
Not only is this place modeled after a prison hospital, but the specialties are bizarrely sexualized to the max as well. At Alcatraz ER, it's all about the shock value, with drinks like sperm juice and blood transfusion. Of course, one can also dive into the penis lettuce. However, if that's not interesting enough, the staff can certainly recommend their favorites, perhaps the boobs fried rice. Located in the Shibuya district of Tokyo, this dining experience is steeped in the macabre. In fact, Alcatraz ER is probably best suited to late-night dinners and guests who like to giggle at the sight of suggestive food arrangements.
Then what is that? What is this? This suckers. Yeah, there's like a brain.
Number 4. Guo Li Zhuang Restaurant, Beijing, China.
Maybe this one would make even Ron Jeremy a little bit jealous.
If you're not down with the penis lettuce from our previous entry, then you'll probably want to stay away from Beijing's beloved culinary hotspot. Aside from the experience of consuming various forms of genitalia, Guo Li Zhuang offers legitimate fine dining, with the careful preparation of the aforementioned genitalia.
Sounds like you're saying penis. Look at the menu.
This is, in fact, a serious business, and a thriving one, as a result of the aphrodisiac-like benefits said to come from consuming testes and such.
Mine is bigger, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
It's much bigger than yours.
In the West, men can achieve that certain special feeling with the help of a pill, but the chefs at Guo Li Zhuang understand the benefits of bull wiener and various other delicacies to help one feel youthful. All in all, the specialized meals are meant to treat the body, albeit in a somewhat taboo fashion.
Actually, it's really good.
Number 3. Disaster Cafe, Lloret de Mar, Spain. On the Costa Brava of eastern Spain, this restaurant in Lloret de Mar is a favorite among thrill-seeking tourists. At Disaster Cafe, the concept is simple. You're sitting down for dinner with the knowledge that a 7.8 earthquake simulation will somewhat disrupt your meal. First, an elevator transports guests to the depths of the earth, and there, patrons immerse themselves in the moment and come to grips with the inevitable horror of a faux tremble, complete with flickering power. The staff even wears construction outfits at Disaster Cafe to enrich the experience. Located just below an alien-themed restaurant for kids, it may just be the ideal dinner date for parents looking to let loose. Or it could be a shaky experience. Number 2. Robot Restaurant, Tokyo, Japan.
This is the best thing that's ever happened.
So you want to dine with crazy robots, do you? Well, leave the children at home and bring some extra cash, because the employees of Robot Restaurant are legitimately freaky. This place is pure spectacle, with stuffed animals, scantily clad women, and aggressive robots engaging in battles royale for your personal pleasure. In fact, your food will likely get cold at Robot Restaurant considering all the WTF moments that are sure to transpire just while you're trying to enjoy a few appetizers. But that's what you pay for at this naughty red light district venue, and it will only run you about $50.
How much money you got?
I got like 50 bucks.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1. Modern Toilet Restaurant, Taipei City, Taiwan.
Austin, how do you feel?
Crazy, I'm feeling a little crappy.
How far are you willing to go for a wholly unique meal? Well, the poo-themed modern toilet can help you fulfill your dream by flushing faux turds down your throat. The venue itself just may reveal a few surprises, given that it naturally attracts some uninformed peeps for all the wrong reasons. But the true beauty of this high society restaurant has to be its commitment to the poo theme. You know what you're getting when you fork out money for this crappy meal, and Modern Toilet is definitely a spot where you don't want to upset the server.
And the drink comes in a nice little urinal.
That's because everything just sort of blends together at this celebrated crap house. And by that we mean the chocolate poop ice cream, and pretty much every poo-themed thing on the menu.
Poop mouth! Poop out of your mouth!
Do you agree with our list? Which restaurant do you think is just a bit too crazy for your tastes? For more questionable top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Special dish just for you.
Thanks.